It's my new friend. So while I have everything pulled apart, I figure it's a good time to show you guys how Wisefab goes in all together on the 350Z. So up here, everything's the same. This is just a 6mm Allen wrench. You have to take that off to slip this arm onto the top of the knuckle. The coilover bolts in down here on the lower control arm, and you can see how it's adjustable from here to over here. I just left it in the middle for now to keep it neutral to see how I want to tweak with it later. For the lower control arm bolts into the subframe just like the stock one would. However, as we mentioned before, make sure you grind down the little nubs. And then to connect the knuckle to the lower control arm is just with this bolt. This one right here comes all the way through. And then on the back side, they give you this sleeve, and then you come from underneath and you put the lower control arm in. Here's the stud. It's a pretty long stud. Underneath this is where this bracing will go. Tie rod, fairly straightforward, goes to the bottom of the knuckle, and you would use the offset rack spacer, which will go into the rack, and the tie rod goes to the front portion of that rack offset spacer. And that is pretty much it for the Wisefab kit. What's up, everybody? This is my dad, and he is gonna help me with my car today. So what we're doing today is I have part of the left side of the suspension all torn out here, as you can see. The whole assembly is over here, actually. We're gonna bust out the Wisefab. We got the lower control arms, upper control arms, and look how much longer these are. Even if that's, I think it's right around here, so it's probably twice as long of a tie rod. And the reason why it's so long is the longer it is, the more it can push the wheel out for steering, in and out, and then it can turn the wheel a lot more.
How much more? How many more degrees?
So I think stock is around 38, and then with this, the Wisefab kit will give you about 66 degrees.
Wow. Is it too big? Is it dangerous or any
It's not dangerous, but
okay. Yeah, just want to make sure.
yeah, it's just very fun.
Sometimes fun means dangerous. Right?
Alright, so we're running into an issue installing the lower control arm. When we try to line this up, so what happens is, if you can see this hole, it doesn't quite line up.
Probably still doable. Let me try it.
No, I don't think
Just
so.
a little bit. Yeah, misalignment. Just a little bit up, little bit.
Nope, that's it.
That's it? No, sorry.
You can't go any higher, so we have to grind that out.
To grind it, yeah, just 2 bumpers, right?
Yep. Okay. So we'll do that another day. It's 9:30 right now. We don't want to wake up the neighbor.
Right, it's too noisy.
Yeah. So instead of doing all that today, we're just going to try to take the hubs off of the original suspension and then transfer this onto the Wisefab knuckle. All it is it's just these 4 boom, 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 boom. So we got to bust these loose, and it's a 17.
Not bad. Yeah. Not bad. All right.
Okay, yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
And this is what we were looking for right here.
Yeah, this one. Oh, shit.
No, I can worry about that later. Line that up.
Yeah, something like this.
And then we can get the holes lined up in there. Yes, these must be it. Alright, try these. Wait, is this the right? Yep, okay, yeah, try that. Alright, We got Jeremy helping me today. So yesterday we left off with my dad helping me get some of these knuckles on, or the hub on. The issue is if you have one of these, you don't have enough leverage. So you can't really tighten it. Make sure you get one of these socket sets.
I think that was like 10 bucks at Lowe's or something.
Throw them on here, and boom, you can tighten it. So next we have to remove this little 6mm. That way we can get the A-arm above it. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. And then, try to gently. I think we're there.
That's good.
Okay.
There we go.
Good enough. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, so what's going on is, it seems like there's nowhere to mount the sway bar, and I never ran a sway bar in the front on my S13 either. You know, drift car, I like to have both wheels independent and plant it on the ground when I'm drifting. When you go over bumps, if you have a sway bar, it'll kind of jerk your wheel around. So we're just gonna pull the sway bar off. You got this, Jeremy?
That is on there. You gonna pass me that cheater bar over there, bro?
You got that thing on straight?
Yep. Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Done, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so there's just 3 14mm bolts. Can you point them out?
We got 4. So we got 2 here, and then we have 2 on the opposite side.
Okay.
All right, what's going down?
We're using a really sketch disc.
It's a little sketch.
In case it blows apart, I got this from my old job. Covers up to my neck.
So these little nubs here on the subframe, little control arm won't slide in if those are still there, so we got to grind them up.
So this is Kyle. Kyle doesn't have any drift cars, but he does have a taco.
Drift taco.
Yes.
I'll drift it, I don't care.
So you might need to sand down this part in order to clear. Where is that? This piece right here. Oh, look at that!
Just a little dirty.
This piece will kind of create the gap. The bushing on the Wisefab is like a lot smaller than the original one, which is huge and thick. Okay, so these. Well, this needs to sit here somehow. Oh, okay. Let me take. All right, quick update. Got the lower control arm on. Got the knuckle. Got the A-arm. Get it, Kyle. Get it. Hey, you got some holes in your gloves.
Just let my hand breathe.
So, to get the tie rod on, you gotta use the steering rack offset spacer. Right here. And what this does is, it offsets where the tie rod lines up with the steering rack. Pushes it about 1.5 inches forward, so you don't bind and can't get yourself out of full lock in the middle of a drift. How to do this is you take an H14, it's a big Allen, and it goes right in here. And you want to throw some thread locker on here, and then you slide it through in here, boom, and then you'll just thread it into the rack. You want to make sure the notches line up with the notches. You'll see them on the rack itself, and you want to make sure they slide in, and you want to have them facing forward. Don't mount them backwards or down. You want to make sure they're going forwards. To get this on, you want to use a dead blow, get a block of wood, and just kind of tap your way to get this sitting onto the rack. Once that's on, then use some Loctite on this and screw it in. Once that's on, same thing, you put some Loctite on the tie rod itself and insert it over here.
What he's doing right now is clocking the Heim joint to match the entire spindle arm there. So you can gently insert. You probably want to do is spin that in further, because we don't know how far out it was. it might be too
That's
far
fully
out.
in, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we just need to turn the wheel.
What we figured out was you got to make sure to have your rack more centered in order to get this in. Right now he's turning it. That looks pretty good. Right now he's gently adjusting his watch. So what Terrence noticed is you can't put that bolt in from the top. You're gonna want to put that in from the bottom.
Or it's gonna hit. It'd be nice to
Do the Wisefab kit. What you want to do is torque that down, or him with 2 crescents. Terrence did a great job. He zip tied up his caliper instead of letting it hang from his nice stainless steel brake line. Congrats. You've graduated from Basic YouTube Academy. See that swole arm holding this up with one hand?
Single-handedly.
This is how we spend 90% of the time in here, is what the heck and where is that?
Oh, that wasn't even threaded? I was spinning to eternity.
That's why you gotta use Ugga Duggas in an impact.
Yeah,
Just
but
run it.
I know, but I couldn't even get it to line up.
Well, that's the point, you just keep running it. Burn it in.
Okay, so one critical step that I forgot to mention was we had to cut the tie rod and shorten it because when it was too long, it prevented the wheels from turning as much as the rack allowed. Just to be safe, we cut it to the first recommended distance in case we measured the rack wrong. I would recommend you cut just a little bit, and then if it's not enough, you can cut to the second length.